Hello everybody and welcome to CFC Fan TV. I'm joined by Charlie, the wonderful Hurricane Skin. How are you, Charles?
I like that addition.
Yes.
The wonderful Hurricane.
Charles did a wonderful vlog up at Stoke at the weekend. Have a look at it.
Good.
He wasn't drunk at the end, just to let you know.
I wasn't.
Could have been.
I wasn't.
Anyway, yeah, this is Fans Q&A. You all loved it last time, so it's back. I've asked you to tweet in all your questions, anything you want to know, and we are here to give you the best answers that we possibly can give. Hopefully.
Off the top of
all
our
bar
heads,
things that aren't really Chelsea related, we don't really know what to do with that. Okay, ready?
I'm keen for a bit of non-Chelsea stuff.
Okay, all right, we'll see. Okay, Alex says, is Antonio Conte the best manager in the world at the moment? I actually say yeah. With what he's achieved, he's taken on a team that did absolutely our worst season in God knows how many years, and we are winning the league by
10 points.
10 points and flying.
Yeah, he's certainly done the best job out of any manager in Europe this season.
Yeah, it's
certainly. So I'd say that
we'll go with
makes him the best.
We'll go with a yes for that. Luis George says, "What do you think of Tottenham?"
I'm not allowed to say that on this.
No, we don't use that word on here.
We'd get pulled off air.
God Almighty!
Come on, next one.
They're not for us. Okay. Viren says Pedro or Aspie, the unsung hero. How can you compare the two?
Right, I think Viren means who is the unsung hero of the season. They've both got a reasonable shout. I think that Pedro's contribution, especially compared with last season, has been absolutely incredible. But I'm going to say Azpilicueta. I think
not much has been said about him this season, has it really?
No, and I'd say arguably he's been our best defender and first name on the team sheet. Really, I think he's probably one of Chelsea's most underrated players ever, Azpilicueta, considering he's played right back for us, left back for us for a long time, and now he's playing right side of centre half.
I've always rated him quite highly.
All with barely having but you're very knowledgeable. All with sort of barely having a bad game.
Can't even get through that sentence, so he's laughing already.
All with that barely having a bad game, and I just think he's been incredible this year. It sort of frustrates me when people say, "Oh, we should move him out to right wing back or left wing back." No, keep him in the position.
He's absolutely fine where he is.
So I'm going to say Azpilicueta.
Yeah. Okay, and then we've got Viren also says Kante or Hazard, who is more important? That is a good question. I like that one.
That's the same fella. We can't ask two.
Yeah, I know.
But
I like it, Viren. You've got some good questions. So you're added. Okay, yeah. Who am I going to pick?
Who has been more important this season? Oh my
God, that's very different. I mean, Kante.
I'm going to say Kante.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really. Him as a player, he single-handedly won Leicester the league. Mm-hmm. He's made a very high contribution to the reason why we're winning the league this season. And actually, where would we be without him? Would we be winning the league?
It's impossible to say.
It's a hard question, isn't it?
What I will say, it was very noticeable that Hazard didn't play against Stoke in terms of we just lack that bit of creativity and that bit of ability to do something out of nothing. So I mean, Hazard is Chelsea's most important player overall, I think. But in terms of this season, I think I've never seen someone change a team like Kante has done. So
there you go. Kante is the answer to that one. Hold on a minute, let me have a look. Saw Rose CFC, thank you, darling. Says, do you think more teams in the Premier League will use three at the back next season?
Well, Chelsea are going to be the first team to win the league with three at the back in God knows how long. In fact, I think there's actually been a hell of a lot of teams that have kind of aped our style as the season's gone on. You've seen Everton do it, Tottenham do it, Man United have done it, all to a lot less effect than Chelsea.
But I think it's sort of like how I think the Premier League changes every season, and teams adapt to how it's going to be that season. Yeah. I think they've seen how Chelsea have played, they've thought, right, actually, probably we need to do that as well. We need to get on that idea.
Let's get some of that.
Yeah, basically.
So yeah, look, I mean, it's certainly the prevailing trend, so I can't see any reason for that to stop.
Yeah. Okay, next question then. Okay, Carol Anwood actually wants to know where she can get David Luiz shirt after the game. Where can she catch it? If I'm going to be honest, I actually don't even know where you can catch one of them. You'd have to be standing pretty much behind him.
Yeah, and you'd have to take it. You'd have to be very
My
lucky,
season ticket's not really near him. He'd have to throw it pretty high. So
up to the upper tier.
Yeah,
so I'm not a decent shot.
Yeah, I'm not. But I know they obviously come in at the start of the game, don't they?
Yeah,
I mean, they give out a few things.
I think at away games it's more common, but yeah, you'd have to be pretty lucky. Down the front, Carol, is what I'm going to say.
Yes. Okay, next question. Sarab says, if you had to buy one player from Monaco, who would it be and why? Now, I'm not going to lie to you. My knowledge of Monaco is very little.
Right. Well, certainly not Falcao, even though he's done brilliant this season. He has done really, really well this season.
Not a good idea for us Chelsea fans, but yeah.
It's nice to see. But no, he wasn't the best. I'm going to say Mbappe. I think he's one of the most exciting young players in the world. He's scored like 19 goals this season. He's only 18. And
Well, hold that thought, because Quantum Gaming says, are we making Monaco youngster Mbappe one of our top targets in the summer? Are we?
You'd certainly hope so. He's certainly a player that people are going to be looking at, but I think he'll probably stay at Monaco another couple of years. I mean,
it's quite hard to tell who we're going to get in the summer, because we had the worst sort of transfer window, and it's hard to see who he gets, isn't it?
He is, yeah, it's impossible. And also, I think everyone at the club at the minute, while things are going on behind the scenes, it's all geared towards winning the league. Yeah. And then once that's done, I think the long list of players that there undoubtedly are, then there's long-term targets as well. Those will become more focused, and you'll see a lot more transfer news come out.
Yeah. Okay. 2 more questions then, and we'll say. Okay. Jack Harnett says, anyone in the squad who would want to see playing more than they currently are?
Yes, but we can only have 11 players on the pitch.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It's so difficult this season.
I always get messages saying, why isn't he playing more? Why isn't he playing more? It's like, yeah, fair enough, but who do you drop? Do you know what I mean? They're like, every player's playing very well.
I'd love to see. I mean, Willian's one of my favourite players, although he obviously played against Stoke. But I'd love to see him play more. But I can't justify taking Pedro out of the team because he's been so fantastic. Yeah, so who do you choose?
The only player that I'd say probably deserves to play a bit more for the way he's played is Fabregas. But it's very difficult to play. I mean, Conte clearly feels it's difficult to play Fabregas in a 2 in the biggest games.
It's a bit like choosing between, should I have fish and chips or should I have a curry? Or should I have pizza? Curry. And it's I quite like them all at different times, but which one does one choose? You know? So
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
I can only think it's when you feel that that's the right thing to do, you choose that takeaway.
Carry on, Tim. I like it.
That's how I'm going to describe it.
When you
Moving on. So, next question. Interesting one here. Where will Courtois be next season?
Ideally hope at Stamford Bridge playing for Chelsea. It's a question that's come up a lot over the last few weeks. A lot of it is to do with reports in Spain. At the minute, Courtois is happy at Chelsea and is committed to Chelsea for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to leave Chelsea, but I think it will be an issue in the summer. Real Madrid will definitely be buying a new keeper. It's going to be one. They're going to be going for De Gea or Courtois.
I'd say cats and dogs, isn't it?
I'd say Courtois would probably be easier to prize away from Chelsea than De Gea is from Man United. So it's a situation I can see happening. I really hope it doesn't happen because I think Courtois has been incredible this season.
Yeah, it's been good.
Chelsea are at the stage where they're looking for potential replacements should the worst happen. One of those is Oblak from Atletico, another keeper from Atletico. I know he's on loan there. But,
See that Vine, or the little melody that was there last season of what Chelsea did with the transfer, or what Jose did with the transfers, transfer window or season before, and he had like a big Atletico little ornament in his hand, just dragging it, as if to say, just drag the whole club over. Oh, it was funny. But yeah, well, we hope he doesn't leave anyway.
No.
There's not really a suitable replacement, is there?
Well, no, I'm desperate for him not to leave, but all I'm saying is it will shock me if that's not a story during the summer.
Oh, of course. Well, they love a good story, don't they, about Chelsea players leaving or us falling apart, even though we've won the league. Nearly. Okay, last question then. When we win this is from Matt Ferris. When we win the title, which game would you like the most to secure it mathematically in?
Oh, it's a little bit greedy. I mean, me and Roy just talked about it. It's a little bit greedy to pick and choose which game you're going to win the league. A lot of people don't really want it to be midweek at home. I'm sure I'm going to have a good time whenever it is.
Wherever it is.
Everton away, I think, is kind of the one everyone's looking at in terms of the points, and obviously it would be a good weekend up in Liverpool. So.
I do like a Liverpool night out. It's pretty funny.
I'll have that one.
We'll have that one. I think it's like £1 a Jaeger bar up there. It's insane.
Don't get her on
No,
Jaeger bombs.
don't get him on
It's
Jaeger
a
bombs.
waste of time.
Okay, guys, that's all we have time for. Thanks so much for your questions. Comment below, do we leave anything out? What would you like to ask us next week? We'll be doing another edition of this, as you all loved it last time. So yeah, get your questions in. Would you like Courtois? What are you laughing at?
They all loved it, did they? Oh,
They
that's so
did, they
nice.
did. Loads of views. Everyone was
Good.
loving it.
I loved it.
Yeah, get your questions in, and we will see you all next week.
Come on, Chelsea.